This video is a segment from my podcast which aired on the 20th of June. Make sure to have your notifications on and subscribe to watch the live stream while it is happening to get a shout out during the live stream and see the content when it first comes out. It's top 25 quarterbacks.
And I'm looking on the list here, Riley, and I see you have Tua number 2.
Definitely have Tua number 2. I mean, he's a great quarterback. I mean, it gotta be.
Joe Burrow number 1.
Right. Out of not just the draft, but overall quarterbacks.
Overall quarterbacks, yeah.
That sounds like something I think like people like CBS and ESPN. I think they have that too.
Yeah, Joe Burrow, number 1 quarterback in the league. Yeah. I can just tell that already.
Right. So what he's sort of hinting at there is this is a list that I think, I'm not going to say I'm like the greatest of all time, which, right, I could be. But I'm not going to be like those websites, which if I don't get as many views on this, it's okay, but I want to have an accurate list. I don't want those clickbait lists that just are there to be attention. I want to make if you disagree, that's okay, but I think this will be not quite so controversial as some of those sources. So we're going to start at number 25,
Joe Burrow.
Teddy Bridgewater. I think Teddy Bridgewater, by the way, I was ranking these. To me, there was a big tier gap after 25. I'd come into the day saying I'm going to rank 25, but I also think there is a big gap after 25. But I have 25 Teddy Bridgewater. He got to start last season when Drew Brees was hurt, and I think he did very well in that performance. There was a lot of controversy even at the time on whether they should start Teddy Bridgewater continuing over Drew Brees. But I think it's great for him to get the opportunity here in Carolina, so he'll get the start. Obviously, he was here at the Vikings.
That's right.
Too.
And he broke a heart and his knees.
He broke everything.
Basically.
Yeah.
Almost got blown up. Terrible.
Yeah, it was. I remember that day when I found out that we traded for Sam Bradford.
Who's that?
A terrible quarterback that
I don't know.
We decided to.
Pretty good.
Then at number 24, Drew Lock.
24?
24.
Bro, top 10 quarterback.
Definitely, for sure. So, same thing here. This is a little based on potential. This is for the 2020 season. So this is a little bit of what they've done, but I also am projecting a little bit here. I think Drew Lock takes a step up.
Oh, he definitely does, yes.
Right. They got him all those young receivers. Mm-hmm. They also got him Melvin Gordon. I think that every year there's always a second-year quarterback that bursts onto the scene. First it was Mahomes, and then it was Lamar, and now I could see this year's being Drew Lock. I do have Daniel Jones higher. That's a little hint here. Okay. But I do think if there is a player, right now I think that Daniel Jones is better than Drew Lock. But if there's a player from this year's class that could break out this year, like the biggest breakout, I do think it is Drew Lock. I think he has a lot of potential here. Thought he was going to be an early second, maybe late first round pick. So we'll see what he does this year. So speaking of that, number 23 is Daniel Jones. Obviously, was a lot of controversy when they took him number 6.
Probably a terrible pick. Drew Lock is a lot better.
But I do think in the long run, Drew Lock will be better. But as of right now, I have to go with Daniel Jones because he has more experience right now. He started more games. But there's obviously a fumbling issue. People have compared him to a Kirk Cousins.
Who's that?
A player that is being paid a lot of money. So there's fumbling issues. He's got a lot of turnovers. It sounds like he's trying to not fumble the ball in the off season. So we're working on. I don't know how you can really work on that when you can't tackle anybody. Right, unless he's.
I can't make that much.
Right, unless he's like practicing by holding a hot dog and making sure he's having his butt. Right, he can't practice not fumbling without
just like
practice.
Carrying a lot of babies, I guess.
I guess, right, but then what if somebody hits him?
If you're listening to this on audio, you're missing a lot.
You're missing
of
a lot of good.
You can see me rocking an invisible baby.
Exactly,
that's just the high quality content you can't get on Spotify or Apple Podcasts
or Google Podcasts.
We're not plugging ourselves, right, but if you want to follow us on follow him on those platforms, we would not be opposed.
Right, exactly. Or shout out to NFL if you are listening on Radio Public or Breaker or Pocket Cast.
Cast. That's
gotta shout that out. Yeah. But so Daniel Jones, I think right now he's better than Drew Lock, but the potential in the future, we'll see. I don't think he was worth the number 6 pick, but number 22 we got Sam Darnold.
Mr. Mono.
Yes, and notice how it took you a second to think of anything, because that's exactly what Sam Darnold is. He hasn't done anything yet in his NFL career. Like Jamal Adams, he's been in a terrible situation.
I cannot stress how terrible, disgusting,
right, exactly,
awful the New York Jets organization is.
Right, so
a terrible organization.
Right, he's been in a terrible situation this whole time. He was my number 1 quarterback. Number one quarterback in the
whole league.
In the 2018 NFL draft.
Okay.
Going into obviously hindsight, Lamar Jackson's the best, but
who?
Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Oh wait, he's running. Never mind, he's not running back. But yes, he was at the time when Cleveland was walking up there with the pick. I thought they were going to give it Sam Darnold, but they didn't. And so I thought the Jets made a good pick. They just haven't surrounded him. They picked Sam Darnold.
Oh, that's right.
They haven't surrounded him with the right talent. So I think now he'll get an actual opportunity to do that. Jared Goff, 21.
Took a step back.
I am going to say potential, same thing. Darnold, Drew Lock, Daniel Jones, all better than Jared Goff in the future. But right now, Jared Goff is a system quarterback.
What's that?
It's a quarterback that only is good in a certain offensive system. I think you look at where he's been. Cal, they've had multiple great quarterbacks. I mean, they had Aaron Rodgers.
That guy. Yeah.
That guy.
He's okay, I guess.
They've also had some other good ones, like Davis Webb was even decent in college. I mean, Davis Webb was decent in college.
I know who Davis Webb is.
You totally do. He was a great college quarterback.
He was.
And he's done absolutely nothing. He's on the Bills. He's going to be on like a practice squad or cut. I mean...
practice squads are okay.
So, yeah. But Jared Goff is the definition of a system quarterback. Yes. That's okay for the Rams because they have I'll say maybe one of the best offensive minds at head coach. And that's the only reason they even got him to a Super Bowl. And when you have to pay him, I don't think it's going to be a smart idea too, honestly.
Maybe like the league minimum?
Right. Something like that.
Higher.
I mean, definitely not higher. I mean, so number 20 here, Ryan Tannehill.
Tennessee Titans.
He's a little bit of a Titans fan. He's got that fandom. But I'm going to share a quick story. Ryan Tannehill was my favorite player for the first, probably from 2014 to maybe 2016. He was my favorite player. And I even bet myself that if the Vikings did not go better than 7-9, I would become a Dolphins fan because I liked Ryan Tannehill at the time. I thought he was a great quarterback. I thought he was extremely underrated. So I have his jersey. But now he took a break, and I will say I don't think he repeats the success he had last year. He'll have
does better.
He'll have better stats like overall because he'll start more games. I do think it was a good move to pay him, but I think part of the spark he had last year was coming off the bench, sort of igniting that offense. And I think that's what happens when maybe you don't have tape on somebody and then they come out of nowhere. This year, you'll have a little bit more. I think they're a running team, but I still think he's good enough to get it done. Still very good quarterback.
Got a story for myself here.
Yeah.
First fantasy football. Fantasy football is the word. I drafted Ryan Tannehill. And that's the end of the story.
Yep, exactly. He did nothing in Miami. Here's another controversial one, maybe. Jimmy Garoppolo, number 19. I think, I'm going to say it right now. This felt weird, putting him this high, and I'm being completely honest. I think he's extremely overrated.
Didn't he, make a Super Bowl?
He did, but on the back of an offensive coordinator who decides to pass the ball instead of running the ball at the end of big games. He definitely was there. If you've seen that one TikTok meme of quarterbacks throwing water bottles, they have Jimmy Garoppolo just handing them out. Because he does not pass the ball, he's just a system, he's another system quarterback. At least for the Niners. Once again, he fits that system well. That's why he's up this high. But you put him somewhere else, he did good in New England and San Francisco, but I would personally debate those are some of the best situations you can be in. So he sort of has just been carried by those. And you saw it. He underthrew, or maybe it was overthrew, I think, actually, Emmanuel Sanders in the Super Bowl badly.
Terrible.
Badly. I think
Not
he's...
as bad as the Jets stud.
Right. We have to emphasize that. But I do think he is overrated. It did feel weird, honestly, putting him this high. I feel like this could be high. But if he's higher than this on somebody else's list, I'm sorry, but I just don't agree with that. This is the highest I'll go with him. 18. This might be, once again, I might be living in the past here, but I have Phillip Rivers at 18.
He's on the Colts?
He's on the Colts.
That is news to me. I am very educated.
Very. He's kidding, but he has fallen off. He definitely has fallen off. I think it was a good signing, though, by the Colts. I think if they're trying to win now, this is a great signing, because honestly, he could be in the league for the same amount of time that Brady is for the rest. So I think that was a good move to go get him, but he is falling off. He's slowly deteriorating, He's old. He is older. It feels like he's older than Tom Brady, almost, type of thing. Like, I feel like he feels like he is closer to retirement almost than Tom, which is crazy, but I think that he's the same type of thing. He's the king of checkdowns. He'll throw it to... So, if you're in fantasy football, those Colts running backs might... you saw what he did with Austin Eckler. Turned him into a decent player because he threw to him so much. So, he's a checkdown player, but I do think he still deserves some credit. So, I'm at 18. Then at 17, not number 1, but number 17 is Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow. The man himself.
The man, the myth.
The legend has not played a single snap in the National Football.
Still the best quarterback in the... No, not yet.
No, not yet. But I do think that he will step in right away and be the 17th best quarterback. I think that you see the traits he showed in college. I think you look at the throws he makes, and I'm going to compare this to a Tua. I really liked Tua coming into this year. But if you look at the difference between him at Alabama throwing it to wide open receivers and the throws that Joe Burrow's making, Joe Burrow made NFL level throws last year. So I have him at 17. Do I think the Bengals will even be the 17th best team? No, I don't think they're going to be very good. But I do think that he might not honestly this year be as good as Andy Dalton sometimes, but I think this is a little bit, I think he'll make an impact. But the team just won't be amazing. But I think it was a great move to go get him. And that's the right pick. Number 16, I have Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield.
The GOAT.
The greatest of all, none. He is, he sometimes wakes up feeling dangerous. But other times...
he dies.
It's dangerous to watch. You might injure your eyes watching Baker Mayfield. So that's pretty dangerous.
That's how good he is.
That's how good he is. He can hurt you with your eyes. But I don't even know what to say, honestly. I thought it was pretty bad pick, I should say.
It was like a terrible pick, yeah.
Yeah, I was shocked when they picked his card in.
I think everyone was.
I think, if anything, I expected Darnold or Barkley to go first. And then all the news started coming out, they're going to take Mayfield. And I was like, no, that's not going to happen. No way. And then, Baker Mayfield. I'm going to say right now, this is the make or break year. If he does not do good, they should not bring him back. They've given him everything. I know they've switched coordinators and that type of thing. They have done that a lot. But, that being said, you still have a great supporting cast, and he's just not on click with Odell and sometimes Jarvis. I think that this is the make or break it year. If he does not succeed, he's going to be like a Jared Goff, a Ryan Tannehill before this year.
Derek
Carr, actually, type of thing. Like, I feel like Derek Carr is sort of in that just, he's good enough to be your starter. He'll be fine, but he's never going to be anything amazing. I feel like Baker Mayfield, if he does not succeed this year, will fall into that category.
Derek Carr is my fantasy quarterback 3 years in a row, and I was champion in 2 of those years. So he might be the greatest of all time.
But was he your starter or was he your backup?
He was my starter.
Okay.
I had him and Amari Cooper.
Okay, so we stacked them up. Boom.
That's right.
Nice. Okay. Next, 15. I flipped 15 and 14, so you'll see who's 14. But Josh Allen is number 15. This is a little bit based on potential. We did talk about it in the Diggs segment that I don't think that Diggs will do as well. Like Josh Allen, he can throw it 80 yards, but when he's running a 60-yard, let's say a 55-yard route, he's going to throw it 70. He's going to overthrow. I was listening to a stat, actually, that's something crazy. Like, it was Josh Allen threw less deep passes or something like that than Kirk Cousins. But the amount that were actually catchable, he missed more, even though he attempted less. It was something like 20. He threw 28 deep passes to John Brown, for example, and only 12 were actually catchable.
John Brown's fast, though.
He's fast. But you're overthrowing a fast dude. I mean, he's one of the fastest in the league.
Jump.
And
high.
But when he's throwing it 15 yards in front of you, I mean, it's...
when the steroids come in.
Right, that's when you might need some help. Because...
Some help.
He needs to develop this year. He really needs to. It's got to be... I'm going to say it again, almost a make or break. I do think that he's the best player from that draft class to fit this team, the identity that Buffalo has. But I do think he's going to have to work on his... Everybody talks about his deep arm. How he's great at the deep ball, but he can throw it there, but can he actually hit the target? Like, I'm playing backyard football. I see my man open by the back of the fence. He can throw it to the fence. But is he going to throw it to the neighbor's yard?
This is like the edge of the fence right there.
Right. You mean, yeah.
This is like the edge of the fence.
So here's the edge of the fence. It's going over.
It's going over.
Edge of the fence. My buddy here, playing backyard football. He's right here to get a touchdown, and he's going to
over the fence. It's simple.
Exactly.
Mathematics, people. Just
right.
You get your fence. Let's just make this clear. You get your fence.
Yep.
You get your buddy.
Yep. And then overthrows the fence. By the way, once again, if you're listening on audio, you need to be watching it on YouTube. By the way, when it comes out live, make sure you watch right now.
Get your post notifications on.
Yes. Subscribe and hit your post notifications.
2 viewers.
We have 2 viewers
we
right now.
We are popping off.
Yes.
I just want to say thank you
to the 2
for
viewers
watching. And if my mom hears this, please come back. I miss you.
Yeah. So, by the way, I'm going to quick add, Josh Allen does have a good running ability to add in. But 14 is Kirk Cousins. He's being paid a lot of money.
A lot of money, $20 million.
You'll have to talk about this a little bit. You have to, he's getting paid a lot of money.
Overpaid.
What did you say?
He's overpaid.
Sorry, one more time.
He's overpaid.
I understand. Yes. He's very overpaid. He's definitely, I will say, overpaid. But I do think, if you're the Vikings, I do think it's worth it to keep him, honestly, for another few years while you're still in this win-now window. When it's time to rebuild,
that's when... They just did a mini rebuild this year.
Yeah, they did. But they still feel... But I will say, I do think change is necessary. I think if you have the same team over and over again, and they've proven they can't get to the Super Bowl, then mixing it up might be the right idea.
They need to bring back Case Keenum.
Yeah, we'll see there. But so Kirk, though, I will say he's one of, in my opinion, the best play-action passers. That might be because they have Dalvin Cook, but last season he was the most efficient player, play-action to the left. I went to the Eagles game last year. I remember 2 plays, single-handedly. I don't know why they don't run play-action left every time. Obviously they wouldn't, but, seriously, they ran play-action 2 plays, and he chucked it deep to Diggs both times, and it was just easy. He's got all the time. He's just really good on play action, so I think that's an underrated part of his game. But he's just good enough to get you there. He can't do anything that anybody else can't. But I will.
He's not worth $28 million.
Now he's getting paid over 30.
Oh, because
they extended him.
Oh, they did?
They extended him.
I
know. So he had his original deal that's worth 3. We're entering year 3 of that.
Yeah.
they extended him another 3. So now he has, I'm pretty sure, another 4, or maybe it's another 3 left on his deal. I don't know what age he is. I think he's towards 30. That's a sincere reaction from a Vikings fan right there. But I do think, once again, he's just there. He's not going to do anything that other top quarterbacks above him can't. But he's also, I'm going to say, maybe won't make those same mistakes unless he's playing on Monday Night Football.
Oh, God.
Then you got a problem.
I hope they don't move the Super Bowl to a Monday.
Yeah, they better never do that. But besides that, he won't, I think he's gotten a lot better at making mistakes. I think, honestly, it's just himself needing to find confidence. Yeah. I think this year he will find it. I personally do. I think he takes a step up. But when he feels confident, he's on fire. But the second he makes a mistake and sort of overthinks things, then he sort of goes downhill. At 13, Dakota Prescott.
Who's that? Oh, Too Much Money Man.
Yeah, Too Much Money Man.
That's his name.
He wants to be paid like the highest quarterback
wants
He wants a lot of money to be your quarterback.
He wants superstar money, and he's not quite there yet.
Right. It is interesting to see, though, how the Cowboys have paid their running back and their wide receiver and their offensive line. They're paying other players before the quarterback, so it proves they're not ready yet. But I do think that, I don't know, honestly, it's in a situation I think that they should keep Dak Prescott, but for the right price. Unfortunately, I don't think that price is ever going to match. I think that I'm going to be honest, if you can keep Dak at $28 million, like the original Kirk deal, or 29, maybe a little under 30, I honestly think they should do it. I think they should. But the money he wants, if he wants to be the highest paid quarterback, we're going to see Lamar get paid. We're going to see Mahomes get paid. I think that it's just not going to work. I don't think he deserves that he deserves that money. Shout out to Joseph Timmons here. Thank you for watching this live. If you guys do watch the video live, you can be shouted out like I just shouted out Joseph there. But thanks for watching. At number 12, we have Matthew Stafford. Someone people have sort of forgot about. I think he was hurt last year, and people sort of forgot about him. They had to replace him with David Blow and Jeff Driscoll, and I don't think that worked out.
Those are insane quarterbacks.
Right, those are just amazing quarterbacks, right? Not really, but I think that he gets forgotten about. I have him at 12. He's still got his big arm. He still has his rhythm. You know, I think he's had some injuries, yes, but I still think he's underrated, and if he doesn't get hurt, he's going to be in a good situation. Also, shout out to Matthew here, just commented here, but so that's his channel. If you are watching, if you want to go subscribe to Matthew.
Hey Joseph, I'm gonna call you out here. Give me subscribe.
Yeah, well, anybody subscribe. He just wants subscribers.
But Joseph,
okay, whatever you mean. But so at number 11, we have Ben Roethlisberger, another player who was hurt. I think that he's as well sort of being forgotten about. They had to replace him with Mason Rudolph. Duck Hodges.
Where's Josh Dobbs?
He's in Jacksonville right now.
Next card.
Yeah. But he has a lot of potential. Obviously, he cut his beard. Is that a game changer? What do you think? Is that a game changer to Ben's game?
That might be it.
Yeah, right. Shaving the beard could be the game-changing factor for him. But he still has juju. I think he still has a lot of potential there. I think he's got all the weapons he needs. He's got him, James Washington, Deontay Johnson, got all the Vance McDonald even still. They have all the weapons needed, but he will have to stay healthy, but I think he will. He's also, I think honestly, he's looking really good. Like, he's looking healthy. He's ready to go. I think that's very good. And I think he's going to be great again this season. Here's a little bit of a hot take. Kyler Murray,
Goated.
Number 10.
Goated.
It's a little bit based on potential, but I think you put him with DeAndre Hopkins, Larry Fitz, Christian Kirk, gives him a lot of potential, and so I have him as a top 10 quarterback. I really think he will be a great player in this league, and even this year. This could also be, honestly, the player that makes the biggest jump in year 2. I wouldn't be surprised if Kyler is an MVP candidate this year. I'm gonna say that right now, though. Kyler Murray is an underrated MVP candidate.
Oh, definitely. I
think so. He's an underrated. So I don't know what his Vegas odds are. I obviously don't do betting. Obviously, a little bit young there. But I would say he's a good choice for an MVP candidate. I think that he's got the mobility. He's got his weapons around him. I think he's set to sort of be a good player. Next, we have Carson Wentz.
Oh, overrated for sure.
Overrated. He thinks it's a little high. It might be, but I think obviously injuries is a big concern with that. Carson Wentz is the number 1 injury concern ever. He gets hurt almost every year.
Definitely.
I literally nearly made a bet with, if you know Carson from Grocery Games, saying he will get hurt before the end of the season because he always gets hurt. But I do think he is very good, which is why I have him in the top 10. When he is playing, he's a top 10 quarterback, in my opinion. I think he is long-term better than Nick Foles. I'm going to be honest right now thinking about it. I think Nick Foles did the same thing that Ryan Tannehill did last season. The coming off the bench factor. You're not going into the week preparing for Nick Foles, right? You're preparing for Carson Wentz. So Nick Foles comes in, lights it up, which eventually had him get paid by the Jaguars. I think that Carson Wentz is the better quarterback. I think he is the long-term pretty decent. I think it was a great choice. They paid the man. Great move by Philly to get that ahead of time. If they were paying him right now, be a lot. So I think that was a great move for Philadelphia to go pay Carson Wentz early. I think that Nick Foles really psyched him out. And there's a reason that Nick Foles got to play on those good teams, because Carson Wentz led them to the playoffs with those records.
I was going to say something. I am not biased against the Eagles or Carson Wentz here for what he did to the Vikings, which tore my heart out and left me soulless. And really killed me inside. I actually really like North Dakota State University, where Carson Wentz went to college. He's just overrated, and the Eagles suck. Next slide, please.
Hot take alert. We have Matt Ryan at number 8.
Matty
Ice. A little bit of a system quarterback, I will say that. Honestly, I think he is a little bit... But that was especially with Kyle Shanahan, though. But I think he's a really good player. I think, obviously, he should have a Super Bowl ring right now. He really should. It's not his fault they told him to pass the ball. But I think that, once again, honestly he is a little bit of a system quarterback. Doesn't do anything crazy with his arm, honestly.
28-3.
I'm sorry if there are any Falcons fans watching this, reminding you of that terrible moment. But I'm going to say it again. He is a little bit of a system quarterback. 28. 1, 2, 3. 28, 2, 3. But
thank you.
I do think that he is a little bit of a system quarterback. He doesn't have an amazing arm, but he does have Julio to go to. They lost Austin Hooper. Calvin Ridley. They have Hunter Hurst. They also have Laquan Treadwell. Goodness, good luck with that. Good luck with that. But yeah, I think he does very well in his system. Number 7, get ready. Tom Brady.
Yes.
Number 7 on my quarterback list. I don't know whether to say he's overrated or underrated. I really don't know. Some people think he's going to fall off a cliff and do nothing this year. I am not one of those people. I believe that he will have a very good season.
I mean, he's Tom Brady. He's not going to do nothing.
Right.
But the question is, what will he do?
This is why I do not believe he is a top 5 quarterback, like some people might still believe. I definitely think he's not one of those. He's older now, yes. But I do think, honestly, that he will do very well in the system. And I'm going to point out a little thing that you may not be thinking about. What I've been seeing is, obviously, we've had the whole quarantine situation, right? he has been working out with his own receivers. He has been working out with people that he's connecting with. I listened to Pat McAfee, and what he said is when they had Peyton Manning, he's working with his receivers to get the timing correct. I've been hearing Saquon working out with Sam Darnold, Cam Newton and Tyron Taylor working out with a bunch of random receivers, Antonio Brown even.
Antonio Clown.
Although you're getting football in you, you're not working with your teammates, which to me is a very underrated piece. So I think he's getting chemistry out there. So I think he's a number 7. I don't think he's a top 5 quarterback like some people think, but I also think that he's not going to fall off like what some other people think.
And maybe he'll just pull off another Tom Brady-esque feat and
right. He proves the doubters wrong.
6,000 yards and 27.
Right. I mean, if Jameis could get a lot of yards in this system, maybe Tom can.
That's right.
Number 6, we have Drew Brees. Do you think that's high?
No, I love Drew Brees, but that's probably at low. Drew Brees is definitely underrated for sure.
I agree. He's definitely underrated. All time, very underrated. But I'm going to say personally, I think that this year, he's not a top 5 quarterback. You'll see who I have at 5, but to me there's a big break after 4. But he's still putting up great numbers. I do think that people sort of underrate him too much. Like you said, I do think he's a top 10. I have him at number 6 quarterback. So I think that you saw him, even with sort of an injury last year, came in there. People were like, why are you benching Teddy Bridgewater when Drew Brees is hurt? Well, Drew Brees came in there,
and
tore it up.
The Vikings broke his
heart.
Then
the Vikings took him down.
Right.
But anyways, number 5, Aaron Rodgers.
Not a fan. Not a fan.
I'm not either. As a Vikings fan.
Packers,
I don't like to play this guy, but I'm going to say right away, he was disrespected by this organization. In my opinion, Jordan Love.
Let me just make a prediction here, Riley. Hot take. You'll pull a Brett Favre, come to Minnesota.
I've thought about that.
Aaron, our differences aside, we would love for you to join the Minnesota Vikings organization. Lead us to a Super Bowl, and we still will hate you, but just slightly less.
So, with that, I thought about that too, but then I thought how we extended Kirk. But here's the problem, though. I think the Packers disrespected Aaron Rodgers. I like Jordan Love. I do. I think, honestly, it was value-wise with the 27th pick in the draft. It wasn't terrible. Honestly, I had him in my top 20 overall on my board. But I thought the Dolphins were going to take him. Well, obviously that was before Tua happened, or somebody were going to do it. I just don't understand trading up for him. You haven't taken a skill position in so long. You needed to pick a wide receiver, and you didn't. And I can't believe they did that to him, because I still think he's a top 5 quarterback. And I'm going to say, looking at his contract, he has 2 more years. He has 4 more years left on his contract. 4. You know how many Jordan Love will have in his rookie contract? 4. And then a 5th round player option. So you're only guaranteed 1 more year of Jordan Love. Now here's the thing. I don't remember how many years Jordan Love sat for. Aaron Rodgers sat for. But I will say my prediction is that they will sit Jordan Love for a season or 2, and then they will trade Aaron Rodgers.
It's going to be like a Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers dynamic,
sort of.
Kind of.
But in my opinion, because he can't cheese it. He has 4 years left on his deal. He can't, unless they cut him, which they would lose a lot of money doing that anyways. That's why they're going to wait 2 years. He cannot, if he retires, he can't just go join anywhere. Mm-hmm. The rights still belong to the Packers. So he's going to either have to sit it out for 4 years, which would be very difficult. We'll see how many he would start. But I think what will happen is they'll at some point have to trade him if they believe in Jordan Love. Here's my bold predictions. In 2 or 3 years, Aaron Rodgers will be traded to the Los Angeles Chargers. Number 4 is Deshaun Watson. Very mobile quarterback. There were 2 moments last year that in my head, I saw Deshaun Watson play, and I thought, wow, this is a great player, clutch gene. He literally got kicked in the eyeball. He got kicked in the eyeball and still throws a dot to Darren Fells. Like, he literally is kicked in the eye through his face mask. And then he rolls out and he throws a touchdown. I saw, wow, that is insane. Then, once again, if you're listening on audio, you need to watch the YouTube edition.
The acting
by Matthew is just next level. But the other one was coming back in the playoffs against the Bills. Obviously, they sort of choked it against the Chiefs. But he came back from that deficit, and he performed very well. I think he's a great quarterback. He had some great college moments as well. I think he's going to be... Honestly, I think we have our future top four. These top four are both good now and will be for the next while. Do you have any thoughts about Deshaun Watson?
Underrated, I think. Very good.
I do. I think he's very good. In a way, I want to put him higher, but I just can't. I can't really. But this is, I think, right where he should be. If he's below this is, I think, the exact spot he should be. I believe the top four quarterbacks should be a consensus. I think it is X, and Deshaun Watson.
Because
we can't spoil it. It's a list. You gotta watch the whole thing. Their names are
not actually X.
Right. Number 3. Here's a bold prediction. I will say Lamar Jackson is not
Mr.
number 2.
Madden?
Not number 2. Number 3. Let me explain myself. In my top 100, I'll give a little, almost like a spoiler here. Mm-hmm. In my top 100, Lamar Jackson will be higher.
He's number 1.
Then Russell Wilson, who is going to be in the top 2. I will say that. I had to spoil that.
No way.
I need to get that out of the way. Lamar Jackson will be in the top 100 higher. I believe he's the bigger impact player who makes a bigger difference on the field than Russell Wilson. But as a pure quarterback,
this is quarterbacks, not
this is
running
quarterbacks, not players. This is quarterbacks. And now, obviously, Lamar is a quarterback. They say he's a running back. I believe he is a quarterback. But purely off of a quarterback standpoint, the fundamentals, the style of play, and the performance at the quarterback position, Russell Wilson is a better quarterback.
Definitely.
So I have Lamar. Not going to take anything away from Lamar. I think his passing numbers, I think, will improve this season. Like you said, he'll be on the Madden cover as well. But I do think that the pure better quarterback is Russell Wilson, which you'll see at number something.
Blank.
Number blank. But so he's a great player. But I've been talking about the top 100 story, but that I think is the biggest debate I had on this list. Who's 2 and who's 3? To me, number 1's clear. You'll see, obviously, but that was the biggest debate on my list. Is it Lamar or is it Russell? That's where I'm going to be flipping it depending on the list. So with that being said, number 2 is Russell Wilson. I think that he's honestly, if you're a fan that's sort of recent, because of recency bias, I think that most people would probably jump to Lamar being 2 right away because of he just won the MVP. But I think that Russell Wilson nearly won the MVP, and I think he would have, honestly, if Lamar did not just become a superhuman for the last bit of the season. I think Russell Wilson, maybe 3/4 of the way through until then, I think he was the leading candidate. So I think he's a little underrated, but I do think he is the second best quarterback in the league. I think he's amazing. It's sad to see. I've talked to a Seahawks fan. And
a real one?
A real one.
Where'd you find the eBay?
No,
Craigslist?
but
it was on the streets?
Sort of. But I agree with what this person said, which is that it's sort of sad to see how good of a quarterback they have, and they've sort of underused him. They love to run the ball, and of course, the one time they don't, they lose the Super Bowl. But yeah, he's such a good quarterback, and it's honestly. They got one Super Bowl, they went to a second one, but it's sad to see, honestly, that they haven't even gotten more. So, at number 1, unanimous in my opinion. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, Blake Bortles. Patrick
Mahomes.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's surprising.
I know, this is a real hot take, that having Patrick Mahomes number 1, such a hot take. Mm-hmm. But, I don't even know what to say. He's number 1.
He's a god.
He's literally probably the greatest human right now to play football.
I'm gonna do some acting for here.
Do some math.
This is Patrick Mahomes. He's just like, I'm just gonna.
Okay. Give him more.
That's a touchdown. Don't even need to look at the receiver.
Exactly. He's that good. He's that good. He's that good. He might. Are you saying he might have telepathy just to know
I think
where
so.
the receiver? Yeah.
Like some sort of Jedi
He's just
powers.
amazing. I don't even know. He's got a great arm. He's very accurate. He's very confident. He knows his receivers. It's just you can't even do better than him. So he is number one on my QB list.